Hello, welcome to another INFJ Thoughts. This is your INFJ in residence. You can call me Mike. Some people know me by M. Francis McCarthy. That is my painting channel. The topic I thought we might discuss today is the past, and I can only speak for myself. I know a few INFJs. There were people at the art center where I worked that were INFJs, and I had a online date with an INFJ. That was interesting. That'll be the topic of its own video. Definitely, I don't want to forget that. Yeah, sorry. That would be a great topic for right now, but no, we're talking about the past. So, I actually do remember the past. I remember a lot of the things I've always remembered. I remember like classrooms and people's faces and situations, and maybe even school projects I did, or books I read in the library, things like that. I can remember actually, but I cannot remember the names of most of those books I read. I cannot remember most of the names of my classmates, teachers, schools, streets I lived on, phone numbers. I'm not an amnesiac, okay? I remember quite a lot about the past, but there's a lot I don't remember, and I think I'm not alone in that. I think a lot of us we're very future-centric, for one, and for two, I think a lot of people's sense of self is centered in the past, and there's always a lot of talk about INFJs don't have a real strong sense of self, and I totally understand that. I mean, I got very deep into Eastern spirituality, and now that's the crux of it. Stuff was probably created by INFJs because it's all about surrendering the ego and the self, and I think that's actually not hard for us to do. And a lot of that is just because of our unconscious functions predominate. And for one, our subconscious functions, whatever you want to call it, functions that for most people are definitely, if they're used, our subconscious functions are right front and center for us. That's number one. Number two, this extroverted feeling. You get your Mother Teresa's, you get your, a lot of people think old Adolf Hitler was an INFJ. And was he selfless? I don't know. I don't know much about it. C.S. Joseph thinks he was definitely. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, C.S. I didn't mean to misquote you. Anyway, the past is kind of ephemeral, and the thing is, like, I've had discussions with friends and family that have different recollections of the past than mine, and things I might have done or not done, and that I know I didn't do. And you might say, well, gee, you don't remember the name of your street you lived on, or the teacher, or the classmate, or any of that stuff. How do you know you're not just not remembering something that happened? Well, because I know what I would do. And when someone says, you did this and this and that, and I think there's a lot of INFJs that are like this. That's one of the reasons we're old souls. And I think, well, anyway, I just know I wouldn't have done it. And then on the topic of old souls, a good topic for another video, because I think, sorry, I'm going to write this down because I don't want to forget. I think that a lot of us identify as old souls and I think this not clinging on to the past is part of it. I think if you would consider, say, an INFJ as somebody that had gone through quite a few lifetimes and had a lot of experience, and that would be a cumulative amount of past that would be beyond reckoning, and so this is just yet another past in a long line of pasts. How's that for just some woo-woo stuff? Yeah, whatever. I'll entertain any concept. And that's something else. I think as INFJs, I think we are very mentally courageous, even if we don't always crave a lot of external experiences. Like, I would never do bungee jumping. I might jump out of a plane, but maybe I don't really care. I jump out of a plane here all the time. I'm willing to go places mentally that most people would never dream of, and that's gatekeepers to the dark is what we are. Actually, another topic for another video. I'm on a roll. I'm going to do one of these every day, so if you like them, come around. And I'm trying to keep them to 6-7 minutes, not take too much of your time. So just to kind of wrap up, I think we are not very attached to the past, so it's hard for us to hold on to names, and not so much. I think we tend to have a real sense of the gesult of things, the overarching, that'll be the screenshot, the overarching global thing for not just ideas, even in workplaces or whatever. That'll be like we'll always be looking at the big picture, and I think we tend to look at the big picture of our childhood, or like our career in elementary school. I remember the same stuff I always remembered. It's not like I've lost my memory, but I remember very few specific names. And the same thing goes, I guess, for so you just meet someone in real life and they tell you your name and you go, that's not just an INFJ problem. I think that's a human problem. And I think that problem is actually the result of us just having to meet so many people. And I think we have a memory bank of like, I don't know, 500 names, 600 names. And if you think of how many celebrities are taking up a lot of those slots. Anyway, 6.5 minutes, that's good. You have any thoughts on this past thing? Am I out of line? Am I just losing my ability to cognitively recognize past events? I don't know. I'm still not used to the video format, but I'm quite used to talking on my videos. So hopefully the ramblings, something you can use. If not, it's over there. I think click. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be back real soon with another video. Meanwhile, do me a favor, please take good care and stay out of trouble.